we're doing a little impromptu live today.
We didn't plan this at all.
No.
We're kind of celebrating because look who's out of the house.
It's been a first time since I got home from the hospital, and then before that I was in bed for 2 weeks. So to catch you all up, well, first of all, I'm in a wheelchair, and if you've been following my story at all, last year I cried when Chuck brought a wheelchair to the house for me to take a walk after I had my neck fusion done, and I was just sitting here talking to him, and I'm like, boy, I've come a long way. A year ago I cried thinking about getting a wheelchair, and today I'm like, please put me in the wheelchair, I want to get outside. So I think it's been a really interesting journey for me to, I don't know, I always feel like it's really humbling to sit in a wheelchair, but I also feel like now it's really freeing because either I have to stay in the house because I can't walk very far in my walker, and I'm also wearing a brace when I stand up and walk, which is now pressing against all my staples. I have 60 staples running up and down my spine.
60 staples in her back, you guys.
So as they're healing, you know, they're starting to make their way out of my back a little bit as my skin's healing, and so the pressure from a really hard case around me, basically the brace is like a plastic covered with cloth or something. So it's giving me a bit of pain to use it, but sitting in a wheelchair with nice fluffy cushions isn't. So I'm just really happy to be outside. And a week and a half ago, not quite, 10 days ago, I had my lower back fused. So I had L3 to the ilium of the spine of the hip with screws right into my hips.
So let me go back real quick and say something that's just on my mind. So like doing a live right now is tough. It's emotional and tough for what we're going through. But God keeps saying that people need to hear these stories. We need to put these things out there of what we're going through, because there's other people going through them. There's people that are going through them alone that may be popped on their computer right now and they're watching this, and this may be all they have. And there are people going through it with family and friends and people around them that love them, that it's just as tough. It's tough for all of us. So that's why we're doing a live. That's why we want to come on and share the story. And with that being said, what I want Hannah to do, you got to hear about the surgery, because it was, I would say, nothing short of a traumatic experience for myself. Because of the length and what happened. So I'm gonna let Hannah tell you about the surgery that she had, not this past Friday, but the Friday before that. Mm-hmm. It's wild.
Yeah, so I'll try. I'm really bad with details right now and speaking because I'm on a lot of painkillers, which I haven't taken for a couple hours, but it doesn't bode well for telling stories clearly.
Or anything else.
Or anything else.
Clearly.
I'm like, I need that. I can't think of words for anything.
Caregiver steps in, takes over.
Yeah, and gets the word beating sometimes, which isn't nice. He's been very patient and loving with me, I'll tell you. It's been quite a trip. Yeah, so originally the surgery was supposed to take about 3 to 4 hours, and the doctor they all came to my room when I was in the hospital, and they were like, next day you're gonna have your surgery. So they all came in and prepped me and talked about a lot of stuff we were going to do, and they're like, basically you're going to come back to this room unless there's an issue. Well, when I woke up I wasn't in that room, and I'm like, what's going on? And nobody was really telling me anything. I had a huge gouge on my cheek and bruised
up like she got in a bar
bruised.
fight.
I don't know if you can see
like somebody took her out back and put a whooping on her.
On my leg. And then I found out that my surgery was twice as long as I expected, so it ended up being almost about 7 hours.
Yeah.
And during surgery, I'm laying on my stomach, so it's called prone. So it's really important to position people properly, which is something I'm going to talk to the surgeon about. Because I'm like, I woke up, I felt like I got hit by a truck and had nothing to do with my surgery. So I think part of it was, you know, you have to flip people when they're dead asleep. They're really heavy. I used to do that in the OR, so I'm pretty knowledgeable about that stuff. So I'm like, somebody wasn't using pillows properly or something. But anyway, so I woke up in the ICU, neuro ICU, and you know, I was in so much pain and they were just drugging me down, so I wasn't really good at telling them what I needed. But I think the hard part was, like, nobody was telling me, like, what happened? Why was I there? So I ended up texting him during the night, and he got it when he woke up pretty early in the morning. I'm like, what actually happened to me? Because it wasn't what they said. So it ended up being a longer surgery where they did a laminectomy, and they actually loosened all the nerve bundles because I had so much trapped nerves from the compression. So that was part of it, and I don't know, I guess I'll hear more when I see the surgeon a week from tomorrow.
So now I'm going to try to talk. So I'm at the hospital. She's in for the surgery. They're thinking probably maybe 3 hours. I go to her room, and the nurse that's sitting in right outside of her room says, I think her surgery's done, and if you go downstairs in the post-op area, they'll come and get you. So I go down there, and I'm there for an hour or two. I call a number. They patch me into the surgery room where one of the nurses gets on the phone and says, oh, Chuck, we probably have about 2 more hours to go. I was freaking out. We went from maybe a 3-hour surgery to do some fusing in her back to take the pressure off the nerves to we really don't know what was going on. We know it was a lot more. So finally at 8 o'clock at night, the surgeon comes out, Dr. Porter, and we have a conversation. And he said that with cancer in that area, it's affected the bones a lot more than they thought. So when they got in there, it wasn't just fusing the spine. It was screws into the what do you call it, hips or cervix?
No, not cervix. It's
The
body part.
Your
hips.
Hips.
Pelvis. That's what you're thinking.
Cement in the upper femurs, which is your upper leg bones.
Yeah.
So there was a lot that was affected, and so then I actually got to go into the area where Hannah was at and hung out with her for about an hour and a half. And she was waking up and opening her eyes and asked me to hold her hand and stuff. But
I vaguely remember that. Like, I remember
she was
that
pretty
he
out
was
of it.
there and probably to my right side, and that's all I remember. I couldn't tell you.
So I come home, and I'm wiped out. I mean, I am. You could have flicked me like that, and I would have fell on my face. I get in bed, I crash. I wake up about 4:30 in the morning, and I see this text at 12:45. What happened to me? She didn't know. She didn't know, and we just started to put the pieces together.
So the
of
nurse
puzzle.
was like, "Oh, everything's fine, honey." I was like, this isn't where I was supposed to be.
We thought she was going back to her regular room, and they said no,
to.
she's going to ICU and she'll be there for a couple of days, which she was only there one day. And ICU is so they can be right on top of you to make sure that they have somebody there, eyes on the entire time. And our nurse at the ICU was awesome.
Yeah,
she did a great job. And so then back to her regular room after ICU. And I was thinking maybe Thursday she would probably get out. And you guys know Hannah. Here comes the phone call on Tuesday. They're doing my paperwork. I'm coming home. And in that time, I should add also, is she started to sit up for the first time in 3 weeks.
It's huge. Yeah, so they,
huge.
Put my
Her
brace
spine
back
and
on.
the pain and the stuff that was going on was crazy.
Which explains it now, that there was a lot more damage that I was dealing with, trying to walk with it, the brace, which is crazy. And I literally couldn't walk. So anyway, yeah, I ended up being able to go home. I had PT come to our room and really walked me through how to walk and how to move and all of that. And once I started walking, it really made a big difference. And I got to sit and eat. And
one of the things that I watched was after 3 weeks of excruciating pain and barely standing up, and that's usually just to use the potty chair. When they said, we want you to stand up for the first time. And she was kind of freaking out, and I was kind of freaking out. And she stood up and she looked at me and she smiled. She's like,
wow, this is awesome.
I'm not feeling the pain that I was feeling for the last 3 weeks. So the surgeries were absolutely awesome. They did a great job. So she didn't have that crazy pain, but now you got pain of a surgery, 60 staples in your back.
Yeah, that's really the only thing that's bothering me right now is that area. And when you lay in bed, you kind of have to lay partially on that. And when you're sitting, you're leaning against it. And anytime I'm wearing the brace, it's definitely like rubbing up against it. So I'm trying to figure that out now too, because
Yeah.
I have another week of it. And originally they told me they'd take them out in 10 days. So now they're taking them out 15 days later just because of the weekend. And so I may be calling tomorrow to see if they can bump it up, if they have a, cancellation or something.
So
I can't imagine another week of this.
Yeah. So one of the things I want to throw out there is, a lot of people watch our Cancer Roadmap videos, and they watch all these different things that we do. And this is a perfect example that this isn't a bunch of hot air or something we made up. These are valuable tools for people going through this situation. And so all of a sudden, God puts us back in a situation where we're dealing with Hannah's cancer and bones being affected now and nerves. And what did we do? Exactly what we teach.
Yeah.
Exactly what we teach.
It's been good to revisit all of them ourselves,
Yeah.
And it,
No, I don't want to revisit them.
No, but to actually look at that, look at the videos that we created to remind us of this is what we do.
Absolutely,
this is how we coach people. This is what we have to live out and do. It's easy just to want to lay under the covers and not do anything, but that isn't life. It's not wellness.
So how about a little quick recap of what we teach? Prayer, love, juicing, essential oils, moving the body. And the thing is, we pray all day.
Yeah.
We pray every day, all day. We start our day with a cup of coffee and prayer, a little Bible study. We pray all day. We cry, we laugh, we pray a lot.
And we've really also been surrounded a lot with our love from our community.
Oh my gosh. The community and church and family.
I've had so many people
you guys out there right now on Facebook that are just praying. I don't know if you always prayed this many times a day, or if this journey that Hannah's going through brought you to that situation. And if it did, I really think that that's God's plan. Is He wants you guys a little bit closer to Him. And if this journey brings you closer to Him, that's amazing. Well, we're juicing every day.
Yeah, I'm truly, say living on it, but I am. You know how drugs make you backed up a little? So that's one thing I can definitely do is juice while I'm waiting for things to move along.
Yep. And then essential oils, we use a lot of doTERRA oils.
My spine.
We put in a roller ball frankincense, copoiba, lavender, On Guard. I'm trying to think what all is in there. And it's a roller ball because then you add, the rest is added with coconut oil.
Yeah, fractionated.
So what I do is run that around the outside of the staples on her back and down her legs and then rub it in. And having that kind of sensation while you're going through this, and then with the product of a frankincense oil, tea tree oil.
Tea tree oil.
The Melaleuca oil.
I've been putting that up and down my spine.
Yes.
There's parts of it that are a little bit numb, and anywhere where I have scarring, so that's supposed to help really a lot with scars.
And then the fifth one would be moving the body. And so it started sitting up, standing up, walking in the hospital. When we got home, it started walking in the house. I've never seen somebody so proud that they made it to the bathroom to brush their teeth.
Oh my goodness, with the walker. Yes.
Yeah, with a walker. And she's doing all this with a walker, so there's support there.
Yeah, I'm starting over again, I can't walk without a sturdy something.
Got to strengthen everything back up, wake everything back up. The muscles, the tendons, the amount of muscle that she's lost in her legs and in her body and her back.
It's been weeks of laying in bed, literally, where I couldn't do it. So now I'm laying in bed and I'm lifting my arms and doing a lot of weight. Well, I haven't used the weights yet. I want to pull out the light ones, but I've been doing a lot of this kind of stuff, just laying in bed just to move my upper body. Yep. That doesn't bother me.
Yep.
My lower,
just arm movements, stuff I've been showing you guys for years. Arm movements, just moving the body, waking things up. It don't have to be weighted yet. And then we'll move to 2.5 pound weights and then graduate to 5 pound weights to get everything gone and to strengthen our body up. But I want to say something. I am so proud of us with our Cancer Foundation. Because when we really see how important these things are that we've put in place for people to find and to use, and then also the calls that we've got from people that do not have cancer that found our tools, the Cancer Roadmap Project, these things, and they're watching these things and they're inspired to be better at whatever they're doing through life and to be healthier, the juicing and things like that. He's grazing on some grass. But I want to say I feel a little bit of pride right now in Living Hope Cancer Foundation and what we do. You know, you guys, I want you guys all to check that stuff out. We've got some more videos that we're going to add now because of different experiences that we've had. You just go on livinghopecancerfoundation.com and you just click on the Cancer Roadmap Project and start watching those videos. And there's a bunch of them and there's reviews and stuff, and they're all really neat and really amazing. And if you don't go on livinghopecancerfoundation.com, go on YouTube, type in Cancer Roadmap Project Day 1, Day 2, Day 7, Day 14, and you'll get to watch these videos that are just touching people's lives and coaching them through life and through cancer. So obviously Hannah's starting to wiggle a little bit in the wheelchair so I can wheel her back to the house, but it's so nice to be out here. Beautiful day in Phoenix, Arizona, Scottsdale, Arizona.
Yeah, I just want to say hi and catch you guys up.
There she is, you guys. Everybody, I get 50, 60 messages. How's Hannah doing? So this is a way for us to come on here and give you guys a little update, and also maybe give you a little bit of hope and inspiration to get off your couch, get out of your bed.
Go walk a mile for me.
Go walk a mile for Hannah. Walk as far as you can. I don't care if you walk around the house and back to the couch. But little baby steps and mini goals are what's going to get you through to next week, next month. And when we look back a couple weeks from now, you guys know this girl's a machine. When you guys look back a couple weeks from right now and see where she's at, that's what this is all about. And all of this has been said without talking about, we still got cancer to fight.
Yeah.
We still got cancer to get rid of in her body. And so keep the prayers coming and keep the love and the thoughts coming. And it's so amazing and appreciated.
Yes. Thank you. Hope you guys have a good day.
Love you guys.